Today I'm pleased to announce our next release of Bluetrait IO. We've got a lot of new features for all plans. So today I'm going to run through everything that's new and explain sort of where we're going to go after this release. So the first features we've added to all plans is as part of the templates. We have added some additional alerting and monitoring options. The first being the drive space alerts. So you can now add multiple drives here to alert on if you've got a D drive or something that needs an alert on. And you can have separate jobs to run on different drives as well. We've added CPU alerting. So now you can get an alert when the CPU is over a certain percentage. And we have also added memory alerting as well. So again, you can either configure a percentage utilization or when a certain amount of memory is free. The other option that we've added is a clone template button. So this takes all of the settings of the current template and creates a new template from this template that you've cloned. The next thing is we've made a couple of changes to the agents based on some feedback, which has been very helpful. The first one with Windows, now when you download the agent, it includes the version number in the file name. So that just makes it a little bit easier to keep track of which version of the agent you've got downloaded. And we've also added a few new features with the Windows agent. It now will collect all the listening ports on a device and also all the connections. So if you go into the network tab, you can now see all the active network connections that are occurring on that computer. This can be helpful because you can now create tag rules, which I'll explain in a bit, with known bad IP addresses, for example. And so if there is an IP address that you know is causing a problem, you can add a tag rule and it will automatically tag these computers with the tag based on the remote IP address that it's listening to. We're also capturing the listening ports on the device. Now we're not showing that currently in the interface yet. You can create a tag rule, but in future we will do that so that you can see the listening ports. So you can create a tag rule for devices listening on, for example, port 80 HTTP, 22 for SSH, and things like that. For the Linux agent, we've upgraded the bundled version to 1.5.10, which not only does it have a few new features, but that was already out previously. It's just bundled in the download. It fixes some character encoding, and also it's now bundled as a tar.gz file. So that means when you're installing it, it should be a lot easier to install, and you shouldn't need as many packages. So that is good as well. What we've also added is tag history. So tag history tracks when tags are added and removed from computers. So if you go into tags and then go into your tag, we can now see the history of when the computer was added and removed. We've also added that to the dashboard. We've added this for our standard and professional plans. So this allows you to easily see when a machine was automatically tagged using tag rules, or if you manually add and remove a tag from a machine. So this is just a nice little way to keep track of new things that are cropping up based on the tag system. And that is all. The next feature we've added on tags is the additional filtering options. We've added the purchase date and expiry date. And we've also added the network listening ports. So this is where you can, any computer that's listening on, for example, port 80 will automatically get tagged. And if you've got, you want to tag all computers that have expired, so expiry is greater than 1 day, that'll tag all your machines that have expired. Or you can do, if you want, machines expiring in 30 days as well. So that'll automatically tag machines that are coming up for expiry. We've made a few tweaks and improvements to the tasks interface. We'll continue to build on this, but now when you create a task, we've grouped the various options to make it a little bit easier to find what you're after. So software deployment, various commands that you can run, account management, networking tools, service tools, and data refresh, which is just what the system uses to automatically refresh data in the background. But for some reason, if you want to have that happen more often, you can create a script. Now, as part of this, we have added the install software updates task. So this can be useful if you want to bulk software update machines outside of the templates. So bulk software update, and then we can pick which updates we want to install and click add. And now when we go to our agent list and pick the machines, we can bulk pick the, we need to create a job first with that in it. So install software updates, bulks install software update. And now when we go into the agents, we can install software update. So that's a nice way if you want to just bulk update machines once off. That capability is there now. We've also added a small tweak to the software updates manual on an individual computer. Previously you could do this, but we've added the restart computer option as well here. So now you can restart computers from there. Now, the next big area is SNMP. Now, we've made a lot of improvements into this system. So for SNMP, you pick the Windows device that you want to be the probe, for example, and then you click Add SNMP Agent. You can then put in the IP address of the device that you want to monitor. You can put in your SNMP community. We've added a couple of additional templates here as well. We've got ILO, IDRAC, and ESXi. Now, at the moment, this only pulls very basic information. The Synology template is probably the most comprehensive one at the moment. But as part of the standard and professional plans, you can create your own SNMP templates as well. So I'll show you that shortly. But if we just create add template, what we do now is if we go to the dashboard, we can see we've got this new agent. And what will happen is that will has now been picked up. So if I just refresh the page, we can now see from this Synology NAS, we've picked up the operating system, the DSM version, how much RAM it has, the load, the model number, the serial number of the device, and we've got the storage of the drives, how much memory is used, and the name of the device. So it's quite a comprehensive list, and you can then obviously do alerting on disk space and memory usage and things like that. Now, if you click onto the SNMP tab, you can see here, this is the monitoring agent for that device. Now, we've added in this release the capability of having multiple SNMP probes monitoring this single device. So, for example, if you have a router or a printer at a customer site, but they don't have a server, you may want to add this probe to all of the workstations there. So it means that at least one device will be monitoring the agent. So you can just click Add SNMP Probe, and you can pick the device you want and just enter in the IP address and community of this device. So that's really powerful and a really cool feature. Now, if for some reason the template you need to change, you can now do that in the edit page, and you've got the SNMP template. As part of that, we've added the SNMP templates option here. Now, these are the ones out of the box that we have. As I said, they're quite basic, but you can now build your own on the standard and professional plans. So you can take, for example, the Synology template. And now we're not allowing you to edit the built-in ones because we plan on continuing to improve them. So if you want to customize a template, you can clone it, and that will create a clone of that template. And this is then where you can create all of your monitoring points. So this is your SNMP OIDs. So if you do like an SNMP walk on a device, you can retrieve all these values. And this will let you populate the majority of the information for a basic agent. And they're all optional. You can, if your device doesn't support that particular data point, you can leave that blank. Now, in future releases, we want to add in this template section a place where you can add custom OIDs for completely separate information. We really want to get to the point where we can monitor, for example, the health of maybe in your Dell or HP or Lenovo server, for example. You want to monitor the RAID health or the battery. Maybe you want to monitor the temperature, and you want to get an alert if that happens. In future, we plan to add that capability in here so that you can monitor any device. We've also optimized the check-in process for SNMP. It's a lot more reliable now than before. So we previously had a background task that scheduled checks, and if that didn't fire off at the right time, the check-in didn't occur. We've now streamlined that, so that whole process is a lot better. So yeah, SNMP is becoming quite nice. Obviously, there's still a lot more that we want to add here, but you now have the capability of adding multiple probes, your own SNMP templates, and that really gives you now the start of some really good SNMP monitoring. Finally, with this release for professional plans, is we've added the Stripe payment module. So that lets you take credit card payments from your customers. Previously, we supported eWay, which is an Australian gateway for credit cards. But as we grow, and we've had a lot of signups from all over the world, we are adding more global options. So Stripe is now available. All you need to do is grab your keys from the Stripe page, and then in the billing module, enable Stripe on the guest portal. And then when an invoice is sent to a customer, they now have the option to pay online via Stripe as well. And that will then mark the invoices paid in Bluetrait. And also it will create a transaction in the transaction list so you can see how that was paid. So that is this release. We think that it is a great step forward. We are planning to add event log monitoring in the next major release. We want to continue to improve some of our patches and reporting. The alerting system, we have lots of plans there. We think that it can become a lot more powerful. And obviously, we've got a lot of other items on the roadmap that we are looking to release. So that is all for today. Look, again, anyone's feedback is really helps us drive where we focus our development on. We've had a great response, a lot of Linux users, which is fantastic. And we are also looking to completely rebuild our Mac agent to allow for multiple operating systems. At the moment, it only supports the latest 10.15, and it's a little bit complicated to install. So we're planning on rebuilding that too, but that's a work in progress. So we will release more information when that's ready. But for today, that is all. So thanks for your time, and yeah, contact us if you have any questions. Thanks.